Stop everything. Behind the scenes, unseen forces are aligning so fast you can practically feel the ground shift under your feet. Your heart is about to get jolted by a cosmic upgrade, one that will crack open your entire definition of love. Here's the deal. If you stick with me until the last word, you'll gain a key that can literally warp your path toward the love story your soul has been craving. This key will reveal why certain relationships failed, why you sometimes feel so intensely misunderstood, and most importantly, why this next chapter in your life is about to make every heartbreak, every tear, and every lonely night worth it. Yes, it's your time. There's something huge brewing just beneath the surface, and it's all for you. So, if you're ready to claim the connection your heart has secretly dreamed of, like and subscribe to Cosmic Harmony right now. Drop a 77 in the comments to send a powerful signal to the universe that you're open and willing to receive. And don't just read this script once. Play it on repeat, soaking in the energy that's coded into these words. Each replay magnifies your vibration, bringing that extraordinary love closer and closer. Chapter 1. The awakening of your sacred heart. At this juncture, a profound shift causes you to revisit your internal narratives, clearing out any residue of self-doubt and limiting beliefs that have kept you small for years. This awakening of your sacred heart isn't just another phase. It's a cosmic invitation to rise beyond fear, half-hearted connections, and low self-worth. Picture yourself at a threshold, leaving behind superficial romance for a reality charged with deep, transformative love. Now, the stars align. You feel equal parts excitement and apprehension because your heart's awakening calls you to embrace a new vulnerability, one based on genuine self-worth, not martyrdom. Even your dreams may carry cryptic messages pointing you toward healing old wounds and embracing the magnitude of your potential. You may have sensed a greater love stirring beneath your daily routines, perhaps triggered by déjà vu, fleeting encounters, or heartbreak that entered your heart to make room for something bigger. In this awakened space, self-love stands as a non-negotiable. As you honor this frequency, life sprinkles coincidences that confirm you're on track. Repeated symbols, certain words, or a song lyric that suddenly feels like a personal message. Trust these gentle nudges. They are guideposts steering you toward authentic connections and deeper bonds. Think of your heart as a broadcasting station. When your channel is clear, free of shame, guilt, or doubt, the right people tune in effortlessly. Begin by creating a short daily ritual. Place your hands over your chest and imagine a warm glow illuminating your entire being. Inhale this loving light. Exhale anything that blocks you from receiving or giving love. Perform this ritual with reverence, letting intention pave the way. Yes, you'll have ups and downs, but each doubt offers a chance to reaffirm your commitment. Over time, your life will mirror this blossoming, opening space for the love your heart has always longed for. You're on the brink of a grand adventure. Let any illusions of smallness fall away. Rest assured, it all begins by awakening your sacred heart. Picture yourself as a radiant comet streaking through the night, wholly devoted to discovering a higher form of love. Not everyone will cheer you on. Some people prefer the version of you that dims your own light. They might criticize or resist your newfound vibrancy. Stay focused. Their reaction is not your burden. Your responsibility is to nurture your awakened heart, even if it upsets old patterns. Observe their unease as a reflection of their own insecurities and allow compassion to guide your response. Chapter 2. The Cosmic Call to Travel Light. Think of it as preparing for a long trip. You don't want to lug around a suitcase full of junk you'll never use. While it often refers to material possessions, it also applies to emotional baggage. If your heart's truly awakened, you've sensed a gentle push from the universe urging you to lighten your load, both physically and energetically, before you embark on the next phase of your love journey. There's an old saying, you can't take it with you. Past relationships that ended bitterly, unhealed childhood wounds, lingering resentments, or even self-critical thoughts that anchor you in patterns of fear. These count as emotional baggage in this context. This cosmic call to travel light isn't a whimsical notion. It's a practical, spiritually grounded reality. What counts as emotional baggage in this context? It's the self-imposed weight of past relationships, regrets, and unhealed pain. These anchors can block your energy field, preventing you from fully experiencing the love and connection you're destined for. When you commit to traveling light, you clear space for something extraordinary to enter. When you carry these burdens into new chapters, they block the flow of positive energy that's trying to reach you and skew your perception. Suddenly, a minor disagreement with a new partner might trigger a full-blown meltdown because it recalls unresolved trauma from a past relationship. Or you might sabotage promising connections because deep down, you believe you're unworthy of real love. The universe, in its subtle wisdom, often orchestrates circumstances that encourage you to let go. These situations, while uncomfortable, can be blessings in disguise. Perhaps an ex contacts you out of the blue, giving you a chance to find closure. Or you notice repetitive arguments with family members pushing you to address long-standing issues of self-worth. Instead of seeing them as annoyances, view them as catalysts for release. They shine a spotlight on the exact areas where you need to lighten up. How do you actually go about releasing this baggage? Engage in some form of conscious processing to move these emotions out of your inner vault and into the open, where they can dissipate. That might be journaling, speaking with a trusted mentor, or even using creative outlets like painting or music to express what you're feeling. One method is to name it, just like calling out a friend's name in a crowd. Once you name a particular emotional wound, be it abandonment issues, jealousy, or fear of rejection, it can't hide anymore. Labeling it strips away its power to operate in the shadows. As you do this release work, don't be surprised if certain objects or activities in your life also start feeling irrelevant or burdensome. It's like you're telling the universe, I'm ready for better things. See, I've made space for them. For instance, old photographs, gifts from past lovers, or even a daily habit that no longer aligns with who you're becoming might suddenly feel unnecessary. This might seem superficial, but symbolic gestures often carry a lot of energetic weight. Something as simple as decluttering your living space can create room for new energies. Beyond the emotional and physical, there's also the realm of mental clutter. Over time, you'll rewrite your mental script if you consciously replace limiting beliefs with empowering statements. Do you hold on to limiting beliefs about love? Maybe you think real love is only for other people, or that you're too old or too busy to find a meaningful partnership. Recognize these beliefs for what they are: illusions. They are not innate truths. They are stories you've been telling yourself, possibly for years. Each time you catch yourself slipping into one of these narratives, pause and ask, is this truly the reality I want to create? If the answer is no, start shifting your perspective. Traveling light also means releasing the need for constant control. Instead of trying to orchestrate every detail of your love life, like where you meet someone, how the relationship unfolds, or when certain milestones happen, lean into trust. Trust that the universe is conspiring in your favor and that the right person or circumstances will show up precisely when you're ready. This doesn't mean being passive. It means being open. There's a difference between passively waiting and actively trusting. At the end of each day, name at least 3 things you're grateful for to help you stay in the mindset of traveling light. One powerful daily habit is a simple gratitude check. This practice shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, reducing the urge to cling to outdated attachments. It also creates an inner environment that's ready to receive new blessings, be they in the form of love or any other abundance. They can be minor joys like a warm cup of tea, or major wins like resolving an old conflict with a friend. Finally, remember that traveling light is an ongoing process, not a one-time event. You might need to periodically reassess what you're carrying in your emotional backpack, just like you might clean out your home to discard clutter. Notice how your priorities shift as you move forward in your awakened state. Be brave enough to let them go when you find certain relationships or activities no longer resonate. The lighter you travel, the more capacity you have to embrace the monumental love journey that's set to unfold. Trust me, When that journey begins, you'll be glad you heeded the call. Chapter 3: Entering the Path of Divine Synchronicity. When your heart is awakened and your baggage is lightened, you may find yourself noticing synchronicities everywhere. These aren't mere coincidences, but cosmic nudges from an intelligence that orchestrates events far beyond our conventional understanding of time and space. Think of synchronicities as the universe's way of holding up neon signs that say, "You're on the right track." For someone on the precipice of a grand love journey, these synchronicities can take many forms. You might notice shared dreams or sudden alignments in life goals with a potential partner. Or you could catch yourself in a moment of intense emotional clarity, realizing that a pattern you once repeated in relationships has dissolved. Perhaps you no longer attract emotionally unavailable people because you've finally recognized your own value. That's synchronicity in action, an internal alignment that reflects out into the world. Before you found yourself on this path, you might have encountered synchronicities occasionally. Perhaps a specific number sequence appeared repeatedly, where you felt an unexplainable pull toward a particular place or person. But once you actively invite the vibration of higher love into your life, these synchronicities ramp up to a level that feels uncanny. You'll think of someone you haven't seen in years, and they'll call you within the hour. You might start reading about a certain spiritual principle, only for a documentary or social media post to affirm exactly what you were pondering. This heightened state of resonance marks a shift where you're no longer at war with the universe. Instead, you're co-creating with it. For love seekers, the most thrilling synchronicities often involve meeting someone new or re-encountering someone in an entirely new context. It might happen during mundane moments, bumping into them at a grocery store, randomly being seated next to them on a plane, or being introduced through a mutual friend at a casual gathering. In these moments, you'll feel an electric tingle, as if your intuition is screaming, "Pay attention." This tingle is usually a green light that the universe wants you to explore the possibility of connection with this person. Some individuals experience synchronicities through recurring symbols or themes, such as butterflies, hearts, or particular phrases that appear in unexpected places. If you stumble upon these motifs, pause and reflect. What could these symbols be telling you about your path? Sometimes they're gentle reminders to stay open. Other times, they serve as direct instructions to reach out to someone, schedule that date, or send that message you've been hesitating about. Recognizing these symbols as part of a universal language can deepen your trust in the journey. Those on the cusp of a new love story often report feeling more alive and more attuned to small miracles. Everything glimmers with possibility, from a spontaneous conversation in line at the coffee shop to a sudden impulse to drive a different route home. In each slight detour, the universe may be nudging you closer to a fate you sense but can't fully articulate yet. That's how synchronicity works, weaving threads of the extraordinary into the fabric of your everyday life. However, it's important not to force synchronicities. The moment you try to artificially engineer them, the magic dulls. Flow, by definition, can't be manufactured through sheer will. Instead, maintain a playful curiosity. If you're seeking love, make a wish in your heart for guidance or confirmation. Then let it go. Watch how the events of your day or week unfold. Keep a small journal or note-taking app to record these strange coincidences. Over time, a pattern will emerge, and you'll realize there's a dialogue happening between you and something greater. So consumed by to-do lists, social media, or anxieties, we often overlook subtle signals. Our days become a blur of routine, with no space for magic to slip in. If you're serious about tapping into synchronicity, consider a daily grounding practice to quiet mental chatter. Even just 5 minutes of breath work or silence can sharpen your awareness, allowing you to pick up on the gentlest cosmic cues. Another key aspect of divine synchronicity is being receptive. Many of us barrel through life without noticing the magic that surrounds us. By pausing and tuning in, you open yourself to the universe's whispers, making room for the extraordinary to unfold. Bear in mind, divine synchronicities aren't a guarantee of perpetual bliss or the absence of challenges. They can reveal potentials, align you with opportunities, and expedite growth, but you still have to do the emotional work. Relationships, especially those born out of these cosmic alignments, demand vulnerability, communication, and courage. The deeper the synchronicity, the more it often invites you to grow beyond your comfort zone. Don't shy away from the growth. The greatest love journeys are built on the willingness to evolve, individually and together. Let the signs guide you, but also exercise discernment. A sense of inner knowing will usually tell you which coincidences are truly meaningful. Honor that flutter in your chest. It's your soul's way of confirming that you're stepping onto the path of divine synchronicity, a path that leads not just to romantic love, but to a richer, more integrated experience of life itself. Not every coincidence is a cosmic sign. Sometimes a random event is just that, random. That intuitive nudge will differentiate trivial happenstance from divinely orchestrated arrangements. Listen to it. Chapter 4. Embracing the mirror of romantic partnership. Imagine holding up a reflective surface that reveals your hidden strengths and vulnerabilities in one sweep. That's precisely what happens when you enter a significant romantic connection, particularly one that emerges from the tapestry of synchronicities you've been noticing. The idea that relationships serve as mirrors can be both thrilling and intimidating. On the surface, love can seem like a simple dance of attraction, companionship, and shared interests. But spiritually speaking, it's a crucible for self-discovery, emotional healing, and even awakening to higher aspects of your being. When two awakened hearts collide, emotions surface that you never knew existed, both wonderful and challenging. Old traumas can resurface, triggered by the closeness and vulnerability you share. You might suddenly feel an overwhelming rush of gratitude for life, coupled with an equally overwhelming terror of losing this newfound joy. On the flip side, a true soul-level partnership also mirrors your best qualities, the compassion, courage, and brilliance you might overlook in yourself. Many of us are so conditioned to self-critique that we fail to celebrate our own beauty. Embracing these positive reflections can be just as transformative as confronting your shadow. When your partner admires your perseverance, your kindness, or your creative spark, it can feel startling at first. Accepting compliments graciously is an art in itself, one that challenges deeply ingrained beliefs about your worth. Sometimes the reflection your partner offers can be harsh. Maybe they point out a tendency you have to shut down emotionally under stress, or a habit of deflecting compliments because you struggle with self-worth. Initially, this might feel like an attack, but in a consciously loving partnership, feedback can become fuel for self-betterment. You begin to see these flaws not as flaws per se, but as unhealed aspects of your story. But here's the transformative part. In the context of a deep connection, even the most painful triggers become opportunities for growth. The relationship acts like a mirror, reflecting back parts of yourself that need healing, acceptance, or integration. This mirroring effect doesn't mean your partner is responsible for fixing you, or vice versa. Far from it. Each of you has an individual journey, and the relationship becomes a shared arena where both journeys can flourish. Practical ways to harness this mirroring effect for growth include open dialogue and reflective exercises. Make space in your conversations to talk about what you see in each other, both the uplifting and the challenging. It could be as simple as taking a few minutes each week to ask, what did we learn this week about ourselves and each other? Similarly, consider occasional journaling after significant interactions, writing down what triggered you, how you felt, and what you suspect the deeper root might be can clarify lessons you might otherwise miss. By bringing these insights to the surface, you reduce the risk of resentment building up in unspoken corners. Of course, the mirror of romantic partnership isn't always easy to gaze into. Sometimes you'll face the reflection of your deepest insecurities, and it can be tempting to blame your partner for making you feel uncomfortable. Shifting your perspective to see triggers as internal cues for healing, rather than external attacks, can dramatically change the dynamic of your relationship. Remember that nobody makes you feel anything. They might trigger an emotion, but that emotion comes from within. Instead of arguing about who's right or wrong, You'll be exploring the underlying wounds that need your attention. At a higher level, you might notice that certain themes repeat across your romantic relationships. Rather than labeling this as bad luck, recognize it as a pattern that your soul is nudging you to resolve. Each relationship that mirrors the same issues offers you a fresh chance to break the cycle. Perhaps you've had multiple partners who struggled with emotional availability, or you've ended up feeling smothered time and time again. When you finally break it by addressing the root cause within yourself, the universe often rewards you with a partner who embodies a new, healthier pattern. As you embrace the mirror your partner holds up, be prepared for a roller coaster ride of emotions, epiphanies, and breakthroughs. The partnership itself, forged in this crucible of mutual growth, can become an unshakable bond, one that thrives on honesty, respect, and a willingness to keep learning about each other and yourselves for as long as you both walk this earth together. It can be disorienting, especially if you're used to more surface-level relationships, but the reward for sticking with it is profound. You evolve in ways you never imagined, shedding old skins and stepping into a new sense of self. In soul-level connections, there's also the phenomenon of a shared mission. This combined sense of purpose can be incredibly galvanizing. It elevates the relationship beyond mere personal gratification and into a space of collective contribution. As your energies synchronize, you may find yourselves drawn toward a joint purpose, whether it's creative, humanitarian, or spiritual. You become not just lovers, but co-creators of something that ripples beyond the confines of your private world. Chapter 5: Navigating Destiny and Free Will. One of the most potent questions that arise during this grand love journey is the tension between destiny and free will. The answer isn't either/or, it's both. Are you and your partner fated to be together, or do you choose each other every day? On the one hand, you might feel a sense of inevitability, a magnetic pull that defies logical explanation. Encounters, synchronicities, and a strong intuition suggest a cosmic blueprint has brought you together. On the other hand, every relationship requires daily acts of choice. Choosing to stay, to work through conflict, to open your heart even when it's scary. Take, for example, the common trope of missed connections. Two souls could be deeply compatible, but if both let fear override curiosity, maybe neither person dares to initiate a conversation. They part ways, never to see each other again. The opportunity was there, destiny created the meeting, but free will seized it. On the flip side, you can push a connection that isn't truly aligned. You might force a relationship out of desperation or loneliness, ignoring red flags and universal signs that it isn't the right fit. That's also free will at work, just not in a way that supports your highest good. Yet, destiny isn't a straitjacket. It's more like a potential that yearns to be activated. If you ignore the signals or choose to stay stuck in old habits, that destined meeting might pass you by. Or, if you do meet, you might fail to recognize the opportunity. Let's start with destiny. If you examine major events in your life, turning points where everything changed, it often seems like an invisible hand was orchestrating them. Maybe you relocated for a job you didn't even want, only to meet someone who forever changed your path. Or perhaps you randomly decided to attend a gathering on a whim, and that's where you locked eyes with your future partner. The more attuned you are to spiritual signals, the more you sense these undercurrents guiding you to the right places and people. When you find yourself in a relationship that seems to glow with destiny, it's easy to slip into the belief that everything will just fall into place without effort. That's a trap. Communication, emotional availability, and mutual respect don't magically appear because the cosmos decreed you two should meet. You have to cultivate them. Even if you feel a deep soul bond, relationships require nurturing. The beauty of a destined relationship is that it often provides fertile ground for growth, amplifying your potential to overcome old patterns. But the work remains yours to do. If you ever question whether a connection is meant to be, pay attention to how it evolves over time. Recognizing the difference requires a blend of intuition and honesty. Sometimes a connection can be destined for a particular chapter in your life, helping you learn vital lessons but not meant to last forever. Do you both grow into stronger, more authentic versions of yourselves? Or does the relationship breed stagnation and toxicity? When we cling to something past its expiration date, refusing to accept that our free will can also include letting go, navigating destiny, and free will becomes a dance of deep listening. If you feel contracted, anxious, or confused more often than not, it might be time to question whether you're forcing a narrative that doesn't belong to you. Meditative practices, journaling, or simply taking reflective walks can help you tune into this guidance. Listening to your intuition, your emotional body, and the universe's cues is key. If you consistently feel expansive, energized, and aligned when you think about the relationship, that's a good sign. In this dance, remember that your ultimate destiny lies in your own soul's evolution. Every choice sculpts your destiny, and every destined twist nudges your free will. Love is a vehicle for that evolution, a wondrous, challenging, and illuminating vehicle. Whether you remain single, find a short but intense bond, or settle into a lifelong partnership, each experience shapes who you become. Embrace the duality. You're an architect and an explorer, a teacher and a student, a traveler walking a path, both scripted by the cosmos and shaped by your courageous decisions. In the end, destiny can open doors, but free will decides whether you walk through them. If you can hold both forces in your heart, trust in the cosmic plan, and take conscious, love-fueled actions, you'll find yourself in a harmony that transcends logic. That harmony is the sweet spot where true love stories are born and sustained, where you realize that fate and choice are not adversaries, but partners in the grand symphony of your unfolding life. The intersection of the two weaves the tapestry of your love life, a tapestry that's infinitely more vibrant than any single thread. Chapter 6. When doubt and fear knock at your door. No matter how aligned, blessed, or magical your love path may seem, doubt and fear tend to show up like uninvited guests. Recognizing these voices for what they are, shadows of past hurt and limiting beliefs, is crucial. They sneak in through the smallest cracks in your confidence, whispering questions like, "What if this isn't real?" Or, "What if I mess everything up again?" Or even, "Who am I to deserve this kind of love?" When doubt and fear knock at your door, they're testing your resolve, your self-worth, and your commitment to evolve. The very walls you build to keep heartbreak out also keep love from truly entering. Yet what was once self-protection can become a prison. Pain can leave an imprint, a survival mechanism that urges you to shield yourself from future harm. By staying vigilant about these walls, you can catch yourself when you begin to emotionally withdraw or push potential partners away. This awareness is your first line of defense against fear-driven sabotage. In the throes of doubt, a powerful antidote is to revisit your original reasons for seeking a higher love. Write down these memories if you need to. Keep them in a journal or on your phone, somewhere accessible for those days when anxiety tries to hijack your perspective. Reflect on the moments when you sense the transcendent connection, a spark of wonder that reminded you love is more than just chemistry or convenience. Those glimpses of a grander design can anchor you when your mind races with worst-case scenarios. You might also find it helpful to share your doubts openly with your partner, assuming the relationship has developed enough trust to handle vulnerable conversations. When your partner holds space for your vulnerability, it can transform fear into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Often, we assume our partner will see our insecurities as weaknesses, when in fact, open communication can bring you closer. Admitting that you feel uncertain or scared can actually deepen the bond, provided it's done with the intent to grow, not to blame or manipulate. Yet there are times when doubt and fear aren't simply byproducts of past wounds. They might be signals that something is off in the relationship. Anxiety can be a legitimate response to red flags like disrespect, dishonesty, or emotionally unavailable behavior. Discernment is vital. If you notice recurring patterns of feeling unsafe or consistently invalidated, pay attention. Sometimes you do need to walk away to protect your well-being. Don't dismiss these concerns as mere fear-based illusions. Trust yourself enough to make the distinction between old trauma rearing its head and genuine misalignment in the present relationship. Beyond the relational context, there's also the role of self-sabotaging thoughts that revolve around personal worthiness. Pair these affirmations with actions that affirm your worth. Self-care, pursuing your passions, and surrounding yourself with uplifting influences. Questions like, am I enough? Or will I ever be truly loved? Might bounce in your head. If that's the case, consider reprogramming your internal narrative. Affirmations can sound cliché, but they work when done consistently and with emotion. Phrases like, I am deserving of a love that expands my heart, or I am ready to receive and give love freely, repeated daily, can chip away at long-held negative beliefs. So, visualize those fears disintegrating into nothingness. This sort of ritual harnesses the power of symbolism to communicate to your subconscious that it's time to let go of emotional baggage that no longer serves you. A deeper spiritual approach is to engage in a form of release ceremony. For example, write down your deepest fears on a piece of paper. Let each word encapsulate the negative feelings that have been gnawing at you. Then, symbolically release them by burning the paper safely, burying it in the earth, or shredding it into tiny pieces. Rather than run from these feelings, lean into them with curiosity. Above all, keep in mind that doubt and fear don't negate the love you're building. They're part of the human experience. Remember that doubt and fear often spike just before a breakthrough. Energetically, it's like a final exam before you're granted the next level of love or self-discovery. So, when you feel those jitters, it might mean something significant is on the horizon, a deeper commitment, a life-changing conversation, or a revelation about how to heal an old wound. Ask, what lesson or gift might this fear be presenting me? This reframing transforms your emotional obstacles into catalysts for growth. Everyone has them, even the most apparently self-assured individuals. The difference lies in how you respond. Do you let these emotions dictate your actions, shutting down your heart? Or do you face them head-on, using them as fuel to strengthen your resolve and clarify your desires? Each time you choose the latter, you rewrite your love story, proving that your heart is bigger than any ghost of the past and stronger than any specter of the future. Chapter 7. The Grand Unfolding, Stepping into Your Future. After awakening your heart, embracing synchronicities, dancing between destiny and free will, and facing doubt head-on, you are now prepared to live your most profound love journey yet. You stand on the edge of a vast, transformative horizon. This isn't merely about finding a partner. It's about tuning into the frequency of love in every aspect of your life. Picture how you might live in a year, 5 years, or decades down the road if you continue showing up wholeheartedly. Over time, you'll see your connection as a microcosm of what the world needs most: compassion, harmony, and awe for life. There's no universal template. Whether you enter a deeply committed relationship or form multiple soul-level connections, each experience becomes part of an ever-evolving tapestry. Even small moments, a disagreement, a weekend getaway, a mundane chore, turn into breakthroughs when filtered through love. Understand that finding the one or hitting a relationship milestone isn't the end. Maintain curiosity about each other and yourselves, knowing that who you are now might shift completely over time. Love spirals infinitely, continually beckoning you to deeper layers of understanding and unity. Nurture your individual paths too, because a grand love story flourishes when both people bring their whole, vibrant selves to the table. Yet expansion requires action. Love isn't passive. It urges you to explore beyond comfort zones, perhaps through travel or collaborative projects. It inspires bigger dreams and dissolves self-imposed limits. True growth also demands humility. Stay open to learning new skills, attending workshops, or simply talking through the hard stuff. In essence, pack your bags because your biggest love journey is about to begin isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a profound call to step into the life God has uniquely designed for you. This invitation goes beyond the surface of romance or fleeting emotions. It is a summons to embark on a transformative journey of love rooted in faith, trust, and surrender to God's divine plan. As believers, we are reminded that our heart, illuminated by God's word, serves as the compass guiding us, while our will, aligned with his purpose, propels us forward. The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. Proverbs 16, verse 9. This journey of love isn't confined to the hope of finding a partner. It encompasses the broader spectrum of love that shapes our lives. Love for God, for others, and for the purpose he has placed within us. Whether it leads to a lifelong marriage covenant or a series of meaningful encounters that reveal God's grace, we are each called to be the hero in the story he is unfolding. This is not a journey we undertake alone. God, in his infinite wisdom, has already set things in motion. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29, verse 11. Love as a divine calling. The concept of awakened love begins with recognizing that love is not solely a human emotion, but a divine calling. As John reminds us, we love because he first loved us. 1 John 4, verse 19. This foundational truth reshapes how we approach love in all its forms. Instead of seeking to fill a void or validate our worth, we approach love as a reflection of the eternal, unconditional love God has for us. This shifts our focus from self-centered desires to a Christ-centered perspective where love becomes an act of worship and service. Imagine a traveler setting out on a journey. The destination is unknown, but the path is illuminated by faith. Similarly, in the journey of love, we may not always understand God's timing or the people he places in our path, but we trust in his sovereignty. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3, verse 5-6. Stepping forward in faith. To step forward courageously in love is to surrender our fears and uncertainties to God. It means saying yes, not only to the opportunities for growth and intimacy, but also to the challenges that refine our character and deepen our reliance on him. This surrender requires us to embrace vulnerability, knowing that God's strength is made perfect in our weakness. 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9. Much like Abraham, who obeyed God's call to leave his homeland for an unknown destination. Genesis 12, verse 1-4. We too are called to trust in the journey. Abraham's faith was counted to him as righteousness, not because he had all the answers, but because he trusted in the promises of God. In the same way, our yes to the journey of love is a testament to our faith in God's perfect plan. Overcoming barriers to love. As we move forward, it's crucial to confront the barriers that hinder us from fully embracing love. Fear, doubt, and past wounds can act as stumbling blocks, but Scripture reminds us that perfect love casts out fear. 1 John 4, verse 18. Through prayer and reflection, we invite God to heal our brokenness and replace fear with his peace that surpasses all understanding. Philippians 4, verse 7. Consider Ruth, whose unwavering loyalty to Naomi and faith in God's provision led her to Boaz and ultimately into the lineage of Christ. Ruth 1-4. Ruth's story illustrates the power of trusting in God's plan, even when circumstances seem uncertain. Her journey teaches us that God's love story for our lives often unfolds in ways we cannot predict, but are always for his glory and our good. The role of community. In this journey, community plays an essential role. The love we experience with others often reflects the love of Christ and teaches us lessons about grace, forgiveness, and selflessness. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Proverbs 27, verse 17. God uses relationships to mold us into his image and to fulfill his purposes. Whether through friendships, family bonds, or romantic connections, each relationship has the potential to shape us. It is in these interactions that we learn to love sacrificially, as Christ loved us. Ephesians 5, verse 2. The journey of love is not just about receiving, but also about giving, extending grace, patience, and kindness as a reflection of God's character. Embracing the mystery. The journey of love also requires us to embrace the mystery of God's plan. We may not always understand why certain doors close or why others open, but we trust that God is orchestrating everything for our ultimate good. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Romans 8, verse 28. This trust in God's sovereignty allows us to rest in His timing. Instead of striving to control every aspect of our lives, we learn to wait with hope and patience, knowing that His plans far exceed our own. As Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11 reminds us, He has made everything beautiful in its time, a love that transcends. Ultimately, the journey of love is about aligning our hearts with God's eternal love. This love transcends human limitations and calls us into a deeper relationship with Him. It is through this divine love that we find our true identity and purpose. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 13. As we navigate this journey, let us remember that love is not a destination, but a continuous unfolding of God's plan in our lives. Every step, whether joyous or challenging, is an opportunity to draw closer to Him and reflect His love to the world. Conclusion: a journey worth embracing. So, pack your bags and prepare your heart. The journey of love is not merely a romantic ideal, but a sacred adventure that shapes us into the image of Christ. Your heart, guided by God's Word, is the compass, and your will, surrendered to Him, is the engine propelling you forward. Whether this journey leads to a lifelong partnership, a season of singleness, or a series of transformative encounters, it is a story written by the Creator of the universe. Step forward with faith and courage, knowing that God has set everything in motion. All that remains is your yes to His invitation, a yes to growth, intimacy, and the soul-stirring possibility of genuine love. May this journey exceed every whispered hope and reveal the depth of God's love for you, a love that is immeasurable, unchanging, and eternal. Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. Ephesians 3 verse 20.